Also, the Lawrence County Public Health COVID-19 transmission indicator has moved from green to yellow. Kansas, Douglas County, as well as Lawrence Public Schools, we have all seen a spike in COVID cases since Thanksgiving. Douglas County's health officer did not recommend an extension of the current health order mandating masks for young children, but does encourage residents to remain vigilant and following all public health and safety measures to prevent the spread of the virus, including vaccination. In order to make getting vaccines to young children more convenient for parents, our partners at the Boys and Girls Club sites will be hosting vaccination clinics for children ages 5 to 11. The district will keep its mask requirement in place and continue to review COVID cases after the winter break. I want to say congratulations to Principals of the Month for November, December, James Polk at Quail Run Elementary and Mark Pruitt, Lawrence High. Both of these individuals model positive characteristics, and we hope to see these characteristics that we hope to see in all of our school leaders. And I want to thank them for their outstanding work with the staff and students at both Quail Run and Lawrence High School. Sunset Hill Elementary Counselor Amanda Atkins is a finalist for the Kansas School Counselor of the Year Award through the Kansas School Counselor Association. Ms. Atkins works alongside teachers and parents to help students to develop those socially and emotionally skills that they need to help them remove barriers to learning and to create safe and respectful learning environments. She also works with many community partners and outreach programs to create opportunities for our scholars. So congratulations to Amanda. Also, congratulations is in order to our high school scholars who have won cash prizes during the virtual Douglas County Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. Free State's Charlie Andrade, West Middle School's Peter Morshez, and Lawrence High's Maddock Oberzin and Kenton Simmons earned the top 4 spots with their business proposals. So congratulations to those scholars. As I mentioned earlier, this is our final week of school prior to winter break, this holiday season and the end of 2021. We will have school as planned next Monday, December the 20th. Our elementary schools will be closed Tuesday, December 21st, while middle and high schools finish up their semester with half-day of finals. All of our schools will be closed December 22nd through January the 5th, and our staff, looking forward to our staff returning on January the 4th. And then lastly, I want to thank all of our scholars, our teachers, staff, administrators for their outstanding efforts to adapt to the changing circumstances while remaining focused on learning amid all of the distractions this semester. I appreciate our school families for their patience, their support, and continued partnership during 2021. And I sincerely appreciate each of our board members for their strength and for your commitment to protect the health and safety and well-being of our students and our staff, and continue to work toward achieving the goals that are outlined in our strategic plan. I wish only the best for our school community this holiday season, and I look forward to 2022 with hope for better times ahead. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lewis. So I would also like to acknowledge and thank my outgoing board colleagues, Melissa and GR. It has definitely been a pleasure working with the both of you, so appreciate that. I attended the Budget and Program Evaluation Committee meeting on December 1st, and we had a great brainstorming discussion there. I also attended the District Site Council meeting on December 6th, and we also had a lot of great discussion there, just really laying down the foundation for future discussions to come. And I've spent a significant amount of time responding to the community over the last several days surrounding, of course, the gymnastics discussion as well as budget conversations. And I've had interviews, one-on-one meetings with community members as well as students, answered countless emails. And if I haven't responded to your email, please know that I have read it, or at least will plan to, and I will try to respond to as many people as possible. I really appreciate hearing from the students during this whole conversation. And I like hearing their voices. I like seeing them advocate for themselves in a way, from what I understand and what I've observed, has been very respectful to themselves and to others. And so I just really appreciate their voices in this matter. And that is what I have for my president's report. Next is public comment. Do I have a volunteer from the board to read the board policy?
Yes, this is Carol. The USD 497 Board of Education welcomes public comments and thanks you for taking time to talk to us about our policies and procedures. We set aside this time during our regular meetings to hear from the public. This is your time to share your opinions. However, complaints about specific staff or students will be heard by the board in executive session in order to protect the privacy of the individuals to be discussed. While you are not required to share your contact information, we ask for that information so district staff or the board can follow up with any specific concerns you may have. The board president will invite comment on topics not included on the agenda at the beginning of each meeting. Comments relating to agenda items are welcomed after the board has had the opportunity to discuss the topic. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. So first up, we have Dustin Stumblingbear. Yes, yeah, come to the podium, thank you.
Good evening, and I want to say I love the new room. I still was in the old one. I was starting to walk around the building that way. That's how long I haven't been in here. But I want to thank you for the time tonight, and I wanted to just start with, trust is built over time, but it can be destroyed in a heartbeat. And rebuilding that trust can take a lifetime if you ever get it back. The recent news that a secret agreement was entered into by the board and an energy company for a reduced rate for last year's polar vortex bill makes sense. The problem is, those are public funds that taxpayers such as myself pay in. We elected you. I can say with a firmness, I voted for a majority of this board to be sitting where you are at. That doesn't mean you get to enter into private agreements with public funds. I understand some of you feel that you were in a hard position, but at the same time, you also don't answer to that company. You answer to us. You were advised by an attorney who has no skin in the game, don't even live in this city, and they duped you. That now we know most of the other districts that were also seeking to have some financial remedy got far better deals than we did. And again, that person gets to walk away. You get to sit here, and you get to listen to us, and you get to think about this, and I get to think, do I trust you anymore to vote for you again? Do I want to do that? And the sad part is, some of you know me personally. I've been in your homes. I've broken bread with some of you. You know I don't come up here and speak lightly because I trust you. But can I trust you anymore? I don't know. I want to. Because I look at it like this. If you have to work in the darkness, your works are not righteous. The righteous don't need to work in the shadows. Only the unrighteous do. And I stand with many of you. I've knocked on your doors and talked to you one-on-one, and I believe you to be good people. I don't think you're bad people. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But we need to understand as voters why. Why is this your Hill 937, aka Hamburger Hill? Why is this the hill you chose to die on? Double down on some very bad legal language. I want to trust you all again. Truly, I say that in all honesty. Please, I don't expect it tonight, but please come to us with an answer as to why you did what you did and why the need to double down. There was no need to double down when we make mistakes, because it just leads to more bad decisions. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dustin. Next up is Coach.
Jayhawk gymnastics and multiple kids programs through the city at Rock Chalk Park. Based on this explosion of opportunity in our hometown, it is more evident that gymnastics is not waning in interest or popularity, but it is booming. So what does this mean for our students? It means that now, more than ever, cutting a program of our magnitude and that gives these up-and-coming athletes an opportunity to compete with their classmates and to represent their schools our Lawrence. They need us, and we already have everything needed to continue running our program. I think we all can agree that gymnastics is amazing.
Coach,
Our
are you
Lawrence
almost?
gymnasts, in one word, are exceptional. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Next up is John Cross. Next up is John Cross.
Hello. My name is John Cross, and my daughter Ann is a freshman at Free State High School and is on the gymnastics team. I wanted to share my thoughts about the importance of this program for my daughter and all the other young women in the program. But first of all, we were extremely disheartened by the news of the recommendation to the school board to cancel the program. My daughter loves being on the Free State team and competed on the varsity level as a freshman. I know the school board and the district in general values equity and inclusion. There is no other program in sports that I'm aware of that exemplifies that more than this team and what Coach Cat has built. This is a no-cut team where every athlete of every competency level competes in the meets. There are no bench warmers. Other benefits of this program that I have personally seen include the following. Number one, gymnasts have a better sense of personal control and self-esteem. Self-esteem is very important for gymnasts and athletes during performance. Believe it or not, gaining personal control and self-esteem is a common trait among gymnasts. They feel more self-aware and confident about their performance. So participating in gymnastics can improve our daughters' sense of self by training their mind to not be critical and overperform during training. Another impressive benefit of gymnastics is improved confidence and judgment. Being a good judge to your own performance skills is a good way to train harder and build muscle. This trait also makes our daughters less nervous around other people's criticism and judgment. Number two, transfer of skills to other sports. Several of the gymnasts are multi-sport athletes. The skills from the gymnastics program can give them a leg up on the competition for other sports such as track, swimming, cheerleading, dance, and more. Cheerleading is mainly about performing tumbling, combinations, and pulling off difficult stunts that require intense strength. By being on the gymnastics team in high school, our daughters will be prepared for these skills and have a better chance of snagging a spot on other sports in school. Number three, discipline. Gymnastics requires excellent listening skills and the ability to follow the rules of the sport. There are specific boundaries our daughters must follow in order to succeed and stay safe. It may be tempting to try a new flip without practicing at first, but gymnasts learn that self-control and listening to the coach will lead to more fun and more new flips. During gymnastics practice, our daughters learn to control their impulses and focus on the skills they can build and the fun that they can have in the future. Number four, setting and achieving goals. Gymnastics requires a lot of patience to see progression. If our daughters want to see improvement in their physicality, it's going to take months of stretching and exercise to see results. If they want to learn how to do a backflip, it may take weeks or months of technical training to nail it. Gymnastics isn't just a sport that anyone can master in several days.
Mr. Cross,
Yes, is that it?
that's your time. Thank you so much for sharing your comments. We really appreciate it. Cheney Finkeldye.
Hi, so my name is Cheney Finkeldye, and I'm a senior at Free State. I've been on the gymnastics team for all 4 years, and I've been the captain for 3 years. And I just want to talk about what the gymnastics team has meant for me. So coming from club gymnastics, which I've been doing since I was like 8 years old, it's a sport that's very intense, very costly. You practice like 15 to 20 hours a week, and by the time I got to high school, I was just completely burnt out, as most of our athletes are, and ready for the experience of high school gymnastics. And having this experience allowed me to be more involved in things throughout the school. I'm a cheerleading co-captain. I do pole vault with track and field. I'm on the student athlete leadership team. I'm in student council. I'm in charge of a few clubs. And if I didn't have the opportunity for high school gymnastics and would have kept doing club gymnastics, I wouldn't have been able to be involved in all the things I do. I wouldn't have been able to take the academic rigor that I did, wouldn't have been able to be national merit semifinalist, wouldn't have been able to be the athlete that I am today or the person that I am today. I wouldn't have been able to meet some of my closest friends through the gymnastics program. And I know that all of these things carry on to most of my other friends and athletes in the sport. We have softball players, soccer players, swim and dive athletes, cheerleaders, track athletes. We have people in almost all of the sports, and gymnastics really carries over into all of those other sports and helps you with all the things that he mentioned, with discipline, with self-confidence. And I just think that without this gymnastics program here, none of these students would have had the opportunity to become involved in their school, to become the people that they are and the athletes that they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheney. Next, we have Jessa Case.
Hi, this is definitely my first time standing up here. I am Jessa Case, and this is my first year employed as a special education para and job coach for Lawrence Public Schools. I came here today with my fellow paras and union members over there to talk a little bit about wage and job concerns. First, I have been frustrated and exhausted a lot recently, and I've heard a lot of similar stories from my colleagues. To start, I work upwards 55 plus to 60 hours a week, split between my full-time work as a para with 2 additional part-time work because I'm not able to utilize my para job as a means of a living wage. I strongly feel like our wage should actually be equal to the amount of work we're doing, and the work we're doing in Lawrence is massive. We are working with so many students, and especially in a para or in a classroom with special education students, we are performing multiple roles at once. In one moment, we might be a nurse. In another, we might be a physical therapist. In another, we are the teacher. We do so much for our students, and they do so much for us. I love working with my students, and I love working for Lawrence Public Schools, but I feel like our wage and the amount of respect we're given is kind of indeterminate by what we're currently getting. I feel like when I come to work each day, I shouldn't be exhausted from working a night shift the night before in 2 other part-time jobs. I should be able to focus my efforts in on my para work and be able to be there for my students and be able to be there for myself. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Thank you, Jessa. Tatiana Younger.
Howdy, howdy. Good evening. I'm Tatiana Younger. I work as a para in the district and as the vice president of PAL CWA. I'm coming up here today, despite having terrible anxiety, with a statement from our E-Board. That's because several weeks ago, our union was asked by the district administration to select representatives to participate in budget subcommittee meetings. The purpose of these budget meetings are to propose severe cuts to our schools and our programs. After participating in these meetings, we feel strongly that we've been given a false choice. The choice as presented to us We can close schools and end programs for our students so that classified staff can finally be paid a living wage, or we can accept poverty wages and our schools can stay open. And we reject this false choice. We believe that the best school systems prioritize the health and well-being of their workers alongside that of their students. We will not allow ourselves to be pitted against students, parents, and our broader community because we are that community. I'm a Lawrence High School alumni, class of 2017, and many of us are parents of children in this district, on top of being district employees. We will not allow cuts to the things that make our schools great. Programs like art, music, and student activities, the things that brought me joy when I was a student and that currently bring our kids joy. We are especially opposed to such cuts being proposed before considerable cuts to our district admin and admin furlough days. We have district admin here at the ESC making over $100,000 per year, while our classified staff rely on public assistance, sleep in their cars, and work multiple jobs just to survive. We also refuse to bargain our next contract in these budget meetings. We will bargain through the formal bargaining process required by law. We will not pick winners and losers out of our own coworkers by sitting in budget meetings and talking about which schools to close or which jobs to cut. We ask that you please keep the commitment that you made at the end of bargaining our first contract and creatively, together with our community, find the money that it'll take to raise all of our classified wages by 40% to ensure that our 400 lowest paid workers can finally make a living wage. Thank you.
Next, we have Liz Strickard. Or Crickard. My apologies.
I'm excited to be following Tatiana because we were sharing space and anxiety over there, but she just inspired me. So I am Liz Crickard. I'm a social worker, special educator, and I'm a certified staff member, but I'm here in full solidarity with PAL CWA and their demands for a living wage. And I'm also here to urge you as board members to begin asking critical questions about budget decisions that you'll be making very soon. And that includes asking questions about how those decisions are framed for you and any process involved in the proposals that you will be seeing. Based on proposals and recommendations that are circulating and being discussed, some of these questions would include: what was the basis of the district's appointment process for budget subcommittees? How were those appointment decisions made? Why weren't families, students, and community members who are not employed by the district included on those subcommittees, particularly those from marginalized communities? Why would special education funding ever be on the table for cuts when we know that we are already unable to provide identified services to students with our current funding and staffing levels? What has happened to any money from positions that have been unfilled for the last few years? What is not being put on the table for cuts, and why not? And how are those things explicitly and directly tied or not tied to serving students directly? Are things like third-party software contracts and consultant fees, are those on the table for cuts? Why are we talking about closing schools, consolidating schools, cutting programs like gymnastics and other programs, and cutting certified and classified jobs who serve thousands of students a day in all of the important ways that we've just heard people speak to, before or instead of looking at cuts to ESC administration jobs and salaries? Why is this proposal process moving so quickly? What's dictating that timeline? What proposals, such as possible school closures and consolidations, are driving that timeline and were already prioritized and on the table before the subcommittees met? And why is this timeline not including input and decision-making from school board members elect that this community chose, particularly given the severity of the cuts that are being discussed and the devastating impact on students, their families, and this community overall? Thank you.
Next, we have Melinda. Is Melinda, okay.
Fell asleep. I wasn't sure if I was going to get up. Good evening, everybody. My name's Melinda Lavon. I'll have a total of 4 kids and a bonus child go through the district. 1 out, 4 to go. And I'm here because we had a meeting on Sunday at the public library. And, you know, if you recall the Save Our Schools campaign that we ran before, about a decade ago, we might have to revamp that apparently. Although in that process, the district came to the community, said, we're broke, we're listening, we understand you don't want to close schools. Great, it'll cost this much. Are you willing to do that, right? And we passed the school bond, but we haven't had that. And so our concerns that we talked about on Sunday from the folks that came to the public library, the concerns included the lack of transparency that we've had in this budget process. There's concerns about the really tight timeline, right? Especially over the holidays and stuff where things get lost in the mix. And we feel like things have been really, really secretive. And one of the biggest concerns were we're broke, 3.3 million, right? That's an even bigger number than I heard the other day of 2. But our administrators, who are already living some fairly privileged lives compared to the majority of the people that actually work in the district, have given themselves huge pay increases over the last 7 years. Y'all have given yourself raises more than what a para makes every year. That is offensive. For anybody to say, hey, I might need to get rid of this program, we might need to close this school, when the leadership has not taken the time to look in the mirror, look at those pay increases at the admin level first, before you start asking us to give up things. Dr. Lewis talked about the spirit of public service, and I hope that we start to rediscover that spirit of public service. This is not a for-profit corporation, and we cannot treat administrative pay like it is. We want to see more leadership on the budget process. I'm really excited about the 20th, and I really hope people can give public comment then too, so that parents can participate, because we were excluded from the small budget committees. We would like, again, public comment on the 20th. Is that planned? I know you can't answer right now, but we hope to participate in the process a lot more. We also are excited about having a new budget person and hope that they have forensic budgeting skills. I'll stop at the 3 minutes. Thank you.
Do we have online, Justin? Okay. Are we ready? Justin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Dr. Justin Spees. I have a PhD in lifespan human development from Kansas State University. I have a master's in marriage and family therapy from Kansas State University. And I have a undergraduate degree in addiction counseling from Washburn. I've worked as a child therapist here in Lawrence in the past with children who have been sexually abused. I've taught at the university level, teaching all kinds of developmental classes, child development classes. And I've also been sitting up at a protest here outside of the USD 497 district office building here on McDonald and 2nd Street. And my message all along has been that these masks on kids is child abuse. Mandating children to wear masks in school is child abuse. And I've been dismissed, I've been mocked, I've been ridiculed, I've been called different names. I haven't been taken seriously, me or my crew that's with me. Recently, I had a teacher here in Lawrence explain to me how she's already noticed that her students' reading abilities have declined, and it's because of many reasons, but the main one is the not being able to see people's mouths, see their lips moving. And I just ask, how, Dr. Anthony Lewis, school board, how could you not see that coming? That seems very, very basic. You don't need a PhD in human development. You don't need your doctorate, whatever it is, in education, Dr. Anthony Lewis, to know that children have to have that to read. That is child abuse. You are depriving children of their most basic things of reading. And that's just one thing. There's multiple levels of this. And therefore, I wonder, why aren't the parents more upset? Where are the parents at? We're allowing these people up here on this panel to abuse our children. And these children aren't even at risk of death from COVID. Parents in the community, people in the community of Lawrence, I've started a new group. It's called Centuries of Liberty. It's centuries with an S. If you don't know what a century is, I encourage you to look that up. Check us out on Facebook, Centuries of Liberty, to get an understanding of what my group is about. Don't join us on Facebook. Join us on the corner, McDonald and 2nd Street. We are there every single day. We've been there since July, every single day protesting these ridiculous mask mandates that are going to turn into vax mandates here soon. We're there every day, roughly 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every night. That's rush hour. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people see our message. So come join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. We have one more online, right?
Oh, he's in person.
Oh, okay. Come on up. Oh, David. Okay.
Yes, I apologize. I got here a little late, wasn't able to sign up. My name is David Unikas. I do not have a child in the school system any longer. My daughter went through grade school Pinckney, Weston Middle School, and then Free State High, graduated 2019. Amazing schooling for her, and we love the district very much, love our schools here very much. I just